Okay.
Vámonos.
Salud.
Salud. Let's go, Cesar.
Let's get it, Omar.
¿Cómo está?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, está bien riquita las modelos.
Sí, ha tocado una modelo. I haven't had a modelo in like a couple weeks. Been having puras pacíficos.
Ni me eches mentira de que no estás tomando ahorita que andas a dieta.
No, nada de eso.
Pues el miércoles de food, por eso, that's why we had to hit it one time for the one time.
El miércoles del podcast también.
Miércoles del podcast, you know, right after the food. That's why I love being in this area, right? We're right here, right down the street from the Quakes.
Con los bonitos Quakes.
And we'll talk about them more in a second about how they got to where they are right now, but they play LA Galaxy, los odiados rivales, no? Right after
The
this.
BLA champs all week.
LA. And the boy Hernan, shout out to Hernan.
Pinche Hernán, güey.
Shout out to Hernan. Hopefully you're still listening to the pod, but our good friend of ours, Hernan, just won the tickets that they were giving away on the Earthquakes social media page to win a club suite. Or not the entire thing. He got like 2 tickets to the suite. And we're like, yeah, take some merch.
Let's go, take some pictures. Ahorita la madre, Ricky Push.
You see Ricky Puch, a todos. Quakes are going to need all the help that we can get. So if you can heckle them and get some luck on our side, that'll be good. But welcome back, folks. Golsided episode 113.
113.
Hey, vamos.
Ahí va la cosa.
Next thing you blink and we'll be at 200.
For real, dude. We have to do something big for that 200 one.
Vámonos pa Miami.
A
ver un partidazo. We are planning hopefully an away game soon, folks. I would like to wait and see what Leagues Cup gives us.
Yeah.
The one confirmed kind of close match is America versus whoever.
Where though?
Snapdragon in San Diego.
Okay.
That'd be pretty popping.
That'd be pretty cool.
It's not even that far for a drive, right? You save a little bit of money. But then, I don't know, maybe LA will host a game. And that could be good, so we'll see what matches of those are good. And
or if the Quakes win and go top of the group.
Yeah, if the Quakes win today, they are top of the group and they stay here in this area.
Let's go.
But then that's not an away game.
I mean, true.
I mean, we would probably still go to that anyways. If they somehow made it, I would go because that'd be lit.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, folks, keep an eye out to see what else we're going to be doing. And a big shout out to you guys. We just hit over 7,000 plays purely on Apple Podcasts alone.
Go.
So all of you folks that are subscribed, even those that aren't subscribed, that are just one-time listeners, we really appreciate you guys. You guys are keeping us pumping, and we're seeing more and more people listening, new people. So if you guys aren't subscribed, please do so on whatever platform you're on. Even on YouTube, we're over 300 on there. We'll get you guys some live content. I just moved.
Yeah.
So now that I'm moved and I'm settling in, I was in SF, if you guys didn't already know that. Now I moved a little bit closer down here in the South Bay to San Jose. But now that I'm here, getting comfier, once I unload everything, I'll be able to be a little bit more focused on this, and we can do, I'm planning to do some more live streams. I want to do just vibing with you folks, whoever wants to tap in. Just go through Twitter feeds, go through highlights on YouTube. A ver qué.
El drama, todo, Fabricio Romano, lo que caiga.
Just pull up the tweets and then just talk shit about it, ¿no?
Sí, con una cervecita al lado.
Tenía que ser, no podía faltar. All right, folks. For this episode, we're going to be breaking down what's going on at the Summer Olympics that are getting popping. I think most of the groups are, all the groups are set.
All the groups, yeah.
Yeah, for men's. We're going to be going over Leagues Cup that's going on right now. Like I said, I'm going to be going to the game right after this. And then we'll go over some hot topics after that. Let's get it. I guess the biggest thing that we want to start off with top news. Javier Aguirre, for us Selección de Mexico fans, has been officially announced. We had jumped on a live when it was kind of skeptical, but it's official. Javier Aguirre is the coach of la Selección de Mexico, with Rafa Marquez as his auxiliar, as his assistant coach, with the condition that Rafa Marquez takes over as head coach en route to 2030.
Till 2030, correct.
What do you think?
I think it was a big jump for Rafa Marquez. I mean, Javier Aguirre we've seen before, and with him, what we mentioned it last episode, we were like, all right, well, he's more of a defensive coach. If he can get the best out of this group, kind of get him back to to the old days, to the golden days, quote unquote, because basically where we're not getting grouped in Copas Americas or in World Cups, right? That's kind of like the standard where we were at, trying to get us back there. But in terms of Rafa Marquez, it was more of a surprise to me, at least, porque era como you were in a prime position to take over the Barcelona main job, right?
Yeah.
Because you were at Barcelona B, you were with the younger squad, and you were doing well. For you to leave that post and come back to Mexico as an auxiliar was kind of like, okay, is this like, ¿qué le ofrecieron? Like, what are the incentives for him to come? It must have been worthwhile for him. If not, he wouldn't have got this, taken this on. And it's like, in there somewhere, I bet you he put, you have to put me as manager of 2030.
Yeah.
Like, si no es una de esas que, oh, como Jimmy Lozano lo vamos, sí, hombre, you're for 2026.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I bet you in the Rafa Marquez, it's like, no, if in the contract, if you don't put me in 2030, then it's going to be a legal issue.
Yeah, I don't think I'm pretty sure it's there, like confirmed from what I've seen on social media. It also seems to me like if they wouldn't have thrown that in there, that weren't confirmed, Rafa Marquez wouldn't be coming.
Yeah, I just don't see how he comes without that assuredness, that written in the contract.
The other thing is, to your point, you were asking like what happened over there, that like why didn't you just stay at a good situation like was that? He was supposed to be the favorite, and then they actually ended up going with Hansi Flick now, right? So maybe there was something internal that happened there. If you get rid of Xavi, that's one legend from the club, right? Y acabaron mal.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe that he was promised something, he didn't get it, or maybe he thought he deserved something, they didn't agree. At the end of the day, if he's guaranteed the spot for 2030, that's probably what his goal was. I understand maybe being Barcelona coach was the main thing, but if he didn't get it right now, and then he's probably like, damn, what's my next goal? My next goal is at some point being the coach of the selección, and guess what? I have the easiest path. I don't even have to debut at first division. Because Rafa Marquez hasn't coached a single minute in first division.
Correct.
And now he has the easy path where he can take the backseat to Javier Aguirre, and then he can literally just take the reins one day. They're just going to give it to him without.
Yeah, it's just for me, I haven't seen somebody take a path like this. Like the closest was, I guess, Jimmy Lozano, where he was just thrown in there. For Rafa Marquez, it seems like there's more of like guardrails. Vas a ir con un mentor que te va a enseñar, como Javier Aguirre, experience with la selección, experience in Europe.
Yeah.
And then in 2030, once you're prepared, then you'll take it on yourself.
Well, I mean, Scaloni at Argentina didn't even have first division experience either.
Yeah. But I especially on Twitter, I see a lot of people saying, well, if Scaloni did it, why can't other managers like Jimmy Lozano do it? But it's like...
I mean, the difference with Jimmy Lozano is that we saw him in a first division team, 3 of them, and he did not do well.
And the other difference is that Argentina has a lot better players than Mexico does.
That's another humongous argument.
Yes.
Is if I can maybe take a step back a little bit, La Bomba and the Federation here is telling everybody to their face that this group of players is probably good enough. The issue is the manager, right? So they had to cut off somebody's head. You could not have gone group 2 times in a row and everyone be happy-go-lucky that something's going to happen. Ticket sales would ultimately at some point go down. Something would happen bad for them, so he had to do something. So he has to bring in Vasco Aguirre, who everyone knows has been the most successful Mexican manager, even with La Selección, even though he bombed at the 2002 World Cup, and then he bombed at the 2010 World Cup. Unfortunate losses in both, but the 2002 one was kind of sadder. Yeah. But he had to bring him, and then he had to bring a national hero to substitute for Jimmy, and he was able to bring in Rafa Marquez. I don't think ultimately it's like a great planned thing. Like El Vasco is great, but everyone knows that he has his style, and then at the end of the day, his time kind of runs out, and people figure it out. And that's why he's mid-table or lower.
Yeah.
And then Rafa Marquez has never even played in the first division, and you're really risking him and his reputation to throw him in there if maybe he hasn't like solidified his style of play or something, right? Like Barça Athletic, maybe they were really good, but was it the amazing players? he's not going to have amazing players of La Selección that we know of as of now.
Yeah, and I think also to add on is Selección is very toxic in and by itself, and then también Javier Aguirre has a big ego. And Nacho Ambriz has talked about it, where Nacho Ambriz was auxiliar with him at Atletico Madrid, and they had a bump of heads where, and Nacho Ambriz was just like, you know what, like, I'm just gonna go do my own thing and be head coach by myself. Same thing with Mario Carrillo in 2010. Mario Carrillo, yeah, they both bumped heads. So I'm wondering if now there's gonna be internally a Javier Aguirre and Rafa Marquez kind of clash of identity, because Rafa Marquez comes from La Masia, that's what he was really good at with Barcelona, and that's what I'm sure he was coaching as well.
Yeah.
And Javier Aguirre is completely different. So how is that going to play out with the types of players that you have as well?
The good thing is that Rafa Marquez has played under Javier Aguirre. Both of those World Cups, yeah. I think he has that level of respect with each other. I'm assuming they had a discussion. I don't think they each called talked to La Bomba, and then they showed up and they're like, "Oh shit, you're here? What the fuck?" No, I think they like coordinated it at a certain point. And then ultimately, if they do have a clash of heads like that, I don't think La Bomba would touch his heart to fire Javier Aguirre and just be like, you know what, it's your time now, Rafa. Like, we were gonna give it to you anyways. Let's like hurry this shit up. If that ego is so big that it affects Rafa, and then
in a year and a half,
and then it gets to La Federación.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that they should be able to do well from their own temperamento. The biggest thing for me is, does this team have the quality of players?
Yeah.
If they don't have the quality of players, yes, Javier Aguirre has a history of making crappy players a little bit better to save from relegation. And that's what kind of scares me with this decision, is that I don't think this is Mexico saying we're going to win the 2030 World Cup. I think this is Mexico saying we're not going to get grouped at the 2026 World Cup. And that's what no Mexican, the fan, lover of the game wants. We want the track to win 2030. And this is really risky. You're really putting a lot on Rafa Marquez that he's going to be this wonder kid. Jimmy wasn't it.
No.
Fortunately, now Rafa doesn't have a track record of ever honestly losing as a coach. But then if he comes in and starts losing, bro, he's going to ruin his entire reputation.
It's crazy because looking back at the Copa America with Jimmy Lozano, pundits, TUDN, TV Azteca, a lot of people on media were talking about Jimmy Lozano not having a good cuerpo técnico.
Yeah.
And it's like they were setting the scene up to bring in somebody like Javier Aguirre and Rafa Marquez, where now we're like, okay, here's these guys, another 8 years of like mediocrity. Like it's like it keeps patching something that needs to be rebuilt.
I mean, it was a good point. I mean, Jimmy was untested, so maybe even more was his squad, right? They were there with him at the Olympics, but that's it. But now, like, it's the same tale again. Yeah, Javier Aguirre and Rafa Marquez, sure, big names, great, we love it, bring them. But then El Vasco's squad is the same people that he had at Mallorca, the Spanish dudes, right? He got rid of the Nacho Ambriz, the Carrillos, the Mexico legends, and he has a full squad of Spanish people. And nobody's going to be complaining. I mean, they have a long track record of first division, but they're also coming from like a not very successful team other than their Copa del Rey run this past season. There will always be things that the pundits talk about, so they're gonna find something. Martinoli is gonna be talking smack about how he's below mid table and all these things. And that Rafa Marquez never even coached.
Even at Fútbol Picante, Luca Ferretti was like, well, did you see the video where Javier Aguirre was talking and explaining himself? Like, a new era, whatever. It was my time to come back. Luca Ferretti was like, well, he only talked about the past. He didn't necessarily talk about what he's going to change in La Federación or in the team or like going forward, like no plans. Which was really interesting because Javier Aguirre did only talk about the past and was like, because of what I did, everybody be hopeful. And it's like, it goes back to that same thing, just nostalgia merchants, just wanting to grab onto something to take us onto that 2026, 2030.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nostalgia merchants, because like they're banking on that old school stuff. There's no plan to make things better. It would have been amazing if a coach, and it's crazy how much we talk about this, how every scenario that we talk about Mexican footy, it's like we always started with, it would have been great if.
Yeah.
It would have been great if Javier Aguirre comes in and faces the music or like answers the age-old question, and tells us what we all know. Mexico doesn't have the level of Mexican players that they have in the past. He should easily come out and say that. He was the coach of two of the generations, the World Cup squads that were very, very good. Mm-hmm. A lot of them without Europeans or without that many Europeans. So come out and show that, dude. Like, I understand he has to come in first and then see the players and not get them against him.
Correct. Yeah.
But the fans, everybody around the federation needs that clarity that Mexico's at its worst point right now. What are you gonna do to make it better? Other than tell us that you had good squads before and you made them do okay. You never made it past the quinto partido.
Yeah, but you also, like, I was showing my little brother Alexis. He's 13 years old, so he's a 2011 kid. I was showing him the goal with Borghetti in the Mexico against Italy game 2002.
Yeah.
Where you had a bunch of Liga MX players, Cuauhtémoc, Ramoncito Morales, Borghetti from Santos. They were playing against the Tottis, the Maldinis, the Nestas, the Buffon, I already said Totti, but like these amazing Italian players, world-class players, mm-hmm. and they were going toe-to-toe.
Les valió.
Going down the line, megging, and then it was unbelievable to watch now, because we look at La Selección, what it is now, and then compared to back then, it's like, los huevos que tenían back then, no es nada comparado a lo que hay ahorita.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy. It's just a different development of footy elsewhere, worldwide. That when the players get to the national team, they play with a different level of intensity, of skill, of tactics that just Mexico is just not getting to. Yeah. And it's not helping Mexico that they're losing so many players in Europe, because like Santi's saying, like Orbelín's saying, even Chino Huerta, who's not even in Europe, was saying, that's where the competition is at, that we're seeing here at Copa America.
Yeah.
That's where that level of competition is. For Mexico players, yes, Liga MX is getting better, but it's getting better off of the back of the extranjeros that are given all the responsibilities to do really well every game to get paid the money. The Mexican player in Liga MX is a support player.
Yeah.
And then they don't go to Europe, and when they get to their national team, they have to take steps up, like multiple steps up in quality, just to compete against the ones that aren't in their federation.
That's a great point that you're saying. They are support players.
They're not main players.
If you go through all the teams, ¿cuál es uno que digas, oh, este es como el Cuauhtémoc Blanco from back then? Mm-hmm. O este es como el Ramoncito Morales, or el Venado Medina, or, you know, like those players that would put their teams on their backs, and then they go to La Selección and do it the same. The Chicharitos, even the Oribe Peralta, he did it.
Yeah, and that's where like a lot of, like, I think it can be fixed, but a lot of Liga MX rules need to be put into play, which at the end of the day, Liga MX has no responsibility for the selección, so why would they even do it? If it were up to la Liga MX, para el espectáculo del fútbol, bring 11 extranjeros, güey.
Yeah.
What do they care, right? But if the owners have a say in Liga MX, and they have a say in La Selección, and La Selección is so powerful, makes so much money, and they need to make it better, then they have to implement rules that'll bring back the prominence, lo protagonista al jugador mexicano.
Yeah.
Because we're not getting all those superstar players, they're not in main roles. The moment that you try one out and they don't do well, you bring in an extranjero, and they take the job, and that's it. Like, I mean, if you look at it, Jordi Cortizo, baller, off of the bench.
Yeah.
Marcel Ruiz is probably one of the closest ones that like is in like a prominent role, but dude, they just bought like a whole damn squad of extranjeros. Yeah. So these are the problems that Javier Aguirre is coming into, that we want more transparency. That's what we demand. That's what I hope you guys as fans also demand. that Javier Aguirre has to come in and do what we thought Jimmy would have done, but he didn't. What we thought an extranjero would have done, but they didn't, which is come in and decir las verdades. Y no estamos bien.
Yeah, because in previous interviews, Javier Aguirre would kind of like wouldn't hold his tongue. I hope that now that he's in a position where he's within the federation as a coach, does the same thing. Just be clear and tell the interviewers, esto es lo que está pasando, esto es lo que se necesita cambiar, and make it happen. Like, we want it, everybody sees it, just let us know how it is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. My not hot take. My thought is that Javier Aguirre is coming to save us in 2026, not to win us 2030, and that's the thing that sucks. And because of that, that's where we're seeing the rumors that Ochoa's coming back, that Chucky's coming back, Henry Martin, Gallardo, all of the generational change that Jimmy did. Apparently, they're all going to come back. They're good quality players, but that's not going to win us 2030.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's what we're saying. Like, we need a. I wanted a coach, which maybe if they were just giving it to Rafa Marquez, ahorita maybe Rafa Marquez would have been like, you know what, I need to learn. So I'm not banking on 2026 either. I'm banking on 2030, and so I'm gonna bring in Darlan Bautistas. I'm gonna bring in Mateo Chavez, who's been killing it. Rodrigo Huescas is a monster right now with Copenhagen, right? Fidel Ambriz, give him his time to shine now, like they did with Andres Guardado, which freaking Rafa Marquez was right next to him the whole time.
Rafa Marquez was captain in 2002. He was 23 years old.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted the new coach to do. We don't know if they're going to do that yet, but I will bet whatever that the first match is going to be a Molero.
Yeah, it's New Zealand.
Against New Zealand, and I think we're going to see some very friendly faces and not so many unfriendly faces. Yeah. But, I mean, prove me wrong, Vasco. Hopefully the two Moleros, I don't consider the US one a Molero. I think that's going to be a big Clásico, even though it's a friendly in Guadalajara. But those Moleros, bring the fucking kids.
Please.
Bring some kids and tell them all in the locker room, you guys are saving Mexico by 2030. And I'll bring you guys to 2026.
Bring Tapia, por favor.
Bro,
por amor de Dios.
I saw like a fake lineup, like what would have been at the Olympics. Dude, Mexico would have had a pretty good squad.
Yeah.
Tapia, Araujo, that Jonathan Gomez kid, freaking
Fidel Barajas.
Fidel Barajas or Fidel Ambriz, like all these dudes on the
who's that Necaxa kid, that right back, right winger, that's at the youth?
Jurado.
He's a baller. Es un baller.
They just need to solidify themselves as 90-minute players. That full, like, lo meten en como que más bien de cambio.
I was watching Fidel Ambriz, and I hope he doesn't stagnate at León, because I saw him against Portland y como que no hacía la diferencia como antes.
Fidel Ambriz. I think some of those injuries they're rearing their little ugly head.
Yeah, tiene que ya go to Europe and try to get a change of pace and see if he can develop his game better.
True. Y sí, que se vaya por su sola. All right, let's bring it to the Olympics, folks. Let's get caught up on that. We did have the last round for the men's. The USA surprised everybody after losing to France. It seemed a little bit sketchy como lo van a hacer against New Zealand and against Guinea. Yeah, but they came out on top. I was more scared against Guinea, but they seemed like the styles were just different, and the US did well. They smacked them, 3-0. And now they face Morocco in the next round. They're going to face a Moroccan squad that was really strong. They passed in first of their group. They have Hakimi on their squad. A lot of their youth players seem good, and they play at top squads. So it's going to be tough, but honestly, pretty favorable matchup for the U.S. What do you think?
I think, they completely surprised us, because I was watching them against France, and it was more of like a U.S. who was scared, who didn't know what they were playing for, who didn't know what to do with the ball or salir jugando. And it's like, they got New Zealand, and New Zealand, todos platos rotos, they got them.
Yeah,
they beat them 4-1, and that's where U.S. got all the confidence in the world. And then when they came out against Guinea, they just tore them apart.
Yeah, all they needed was a win. Honestly, a tie at that point. And the boy Jordy Mihailovic, after we talked smack about him last week at the pod, he turned it on and give him his flowers. He scored a goal.
In both games.
In both games, one was a penalty in the first one, then he scored a good one in this one.
It was a free kick, against Guinea. And then Kevin Paredes balled out.
That dude's a baller. I think he's dual national something else.
I think he's Dominican.
Like Dominican.
Yeah.
Is that right? But I don't know.
Nice.
Helped them. They're good. I mean, they didn't make it, but they at least they didn't shit the bed. No, but then Kevin Paredes hit the freaking paqueta dance.
Oh, did he?
So he's like, yeah. It's pretty cool.
He's at Wolfsburg, which was kind of crazy.
Baller. It's. I think a lot of people have been waiting for him to ball out. A lot of people were already asking him for the main squad, pero como que no resaltaba. But I mean, this might be the trigger right there. Maybe Wolfsburg gives him that undisputed spot starting. But yeah, Morocco next round. They have the boy Azalzouli, the dude that was at Barcelona, moved over to Betis. Like that squad they're tough.
Damn.
But in all honesty, compared to the other side of the bracket, if you would have gotten a France and Argentina, I mean, even on the U.S. side of the bracket, if they make it out, they're gonna play either Spain or Japan.
Yeah, which are both really tough.
Yeah, so I think Morocco is it's a good squad for the U.S. to play against. It's gonna be very difficult, but I think it's not a bad route to make it out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the U.S. prediction. I feel like the U.S. will get through Morocco.
Hijo de tu madre. I don't think so.
You don't think they're gonna get through?
It's gonna be tough.
I don't know.
You gotta. Kevin Paredes is probably gonna have Hakimi on his side.
Correct.
Calmadito.
Pues sí.
Calladito, mi hombrecita, Ya sé que metió 2 goles, pero se me calma ahorita.
Pero eres el underdog.
Yeah, the underdog is tough, but that Moroccan squad I think is pretty like balanced.
Yeah.
Which I think the U.S. is not super balanced. They got to find their pockets where to attack, and it's definitely not Hakimi's right hand side. Mihailovic's got to play the game of his life.
He does.
Put up another goal. Prove me wrong again.
Zimmerman, didn't lock him down. I mean,
if Morocco's got it, if they are doing their homework, which I'm assuming they do, balón parado, the first match versus France, Miles Robinson got bodied in a header. I know they brought them for those reasons, but still, versus somebody that's playing European footy their whole lives, they can get some goals in those situations. So, a ver cómo le hacen, a ver cómo les va. On the other side of the bracket, we do get the Clásico de Clásicos, what seems to be becoming our generation's staple match, France versus Argentina.
The script writes itself, dude.
The script writes itself. On paper, France should win.
Yes.
I think easily. Argentina struggled, except for this last match. They struggled the first 2 matches. They lost the first one, right?
Against Morocco, yeah.
Yeah, against Morocco. Oh yeah, and then when they got all crazy, and it's gonna be that times 10 in France.
Hostile.
Against France. And those players, the France, they gotta come out con el corazón, con la garra to defend their colors, right? Argentina, I don't think they have really reason to be that pissed, right? But van a venir con todo.
Yeah, some of the players from Argentina were talking about people around the world are jealous of us. They just don't have what we have, the history.
They're totally embracing the villain role,
Yeah.
the us against the world.
Yeah.
And it's just no, you're just racist.
And not only in the soccer side of things, but also throughout the whole Olympic Federation, different table tennis or whatever.
No mames, no han ganado nada.
Pero everybody, todos están subiendo al barco de, they just hate us because they ain't us. Todos.
Bro.
Like you're saying, they're embracing that villain role.
Are they good at any sports?
Other than soccer, I don't know. Rugby, they try, but...
Bro, they did, we watched, when we were on vacation this past weekend, we watched rugby and they won for 7th and 8th.
Okay.
Bro, you're 4 spots from a medal.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're not even close, my guy.
Yeah, but I mean, the U.S. sucks at rugby, Mexico sucks, but Yeah.
But I mean, Mexico's got some medals. Shout out to the Mexican homies.
Yeah, shout out
Mexico
to
in archery. The women's archery. It's
Chingona.
Las Doñas are
Yeah.
carrying us right now. Las Doñas in archery, they got bronze.
They beat the Netherlands, que no era penal.
Oh, one of the
girls.
One of the girls from the Netherlands squad is Mexican.
Born in Tijuana and then switched allegiance to the Netherlands.
Cuando se casó con un vato de allá.
Yeah, y luego jugó contra sus ex compatriotas.
She low-key se vendió, güey. Like she, low-key, she, like, no le hizo muy bien.
I'm too good for Mexico, dijo.
Pues sí, a lo mejor sí. But she was saying that she was hearing throughout the whole thing because people were yelling no era penal. And that she couldn't help but like sing under her breath when they were singing Cielito Lindo while the other team would shoot. And I was like, bro, eres mexicana, pues qué más?
¿Qué pasó ahí?
No se te va a quitar. But yeah, Mexico does have that. They have the judo. I think they got silver.
One of the
women's,
women. She did get silver.
Silver.
And then there's another guy who's going into the quarterfinals. And then in boxing, también.
Boxing, the dude's about to get to like quarters, I think.
Yeah, and then the homie from Colima, the surfer.
The surfer, no, hombre. They did him dirty. He played against. He went up against like the top French guy who I think was lower ranked than him still, but the dude got way better scores. And then the dude from Colima, el Mexicano, he came out and said something. I don't know if it's verified, but I saw a tweet of him saying that like home field advantage helped out.
Yeah.
That he was like, I caught bigger waves. I thought I was doing my hardest, but he's like, pero like cosas estaban en contra de mí. No sé qué.
Yeah, and then you saw other like brackets or other, and he would have beat like four of the other.
He had the second highest score.
That second highest. What else?
Out of everybody, so anybody else he would have beat. And I'm like, bruh. Echan trancitas, güey. Ay, cabrones. No, but Mexico's holding up little by little in other sports, so.
Shout out to Una Chapin, who won today in shooting.
Oh, in shooting, bro. She used to be a gymnastics star at the Olympics.
Oh, shit.
Well, not star, she got dead last at the Olympics 1 year, and then she had like a terrible leg injury or something, and she went into shooting. She's like, I'm cabrones.
Picked up a shot and was like, ¿Quién se me pone?
She's like, ya me gustó.
Yeah, but she won the first gold medal for Guatemala. So shout out to her as well.
Hell yeah. Alright folks, that's our Olympics recap. Mexico's good at other sports. Maybe we should change the podcast to something else. All other sports.
I saw a tweet that said, en México cuando se trata de chingarte al otro.
Yeah, bro, they're amazing. Mexico's amazing on the madrazo.
The madrazo, boxing, taekwondo.
If it's Mexico versus the world type of a sport, it's like ahora sí.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So Cesar, tell me, who do you got winning it all in the football? It's pretty back to football. To ¿Quién va a ganar en foot?
Damn, you're gonna do me like that. I'm still writing Japan.
Japan stuff.
Japan is gonna have a tougher matchup all the way through, but if they get to the final, I think they got it.
Well, they don't have to face France or Argentina.
Yeah.
But they have a tough one versus Spain. I think they're really gonna get tested. Because I don't think in the group, they really got tested that much.
No. Their last game against Israel, they played a completely alternate team. I think there was a center mid and the goalie were the only starters from that first game against Paraguay. And the rest of the team was just subs.
Yeah.
So they still won. So that's good that they're having that support from their bench. And now going against Spain, who just lost against Egypt, which was surprising.
Yeah, and now Egypt's first. It would have been a little bit more evenly distributed. It would have been Paraguay versus Spain, Japan versus Egypt. Both of them could have moved on, but now we get like a little bit of a semifinal adelantada with Japan and Spain.
Who do you got?
So you got Japan. I think France will win it. Los anfitriones. They just have to get through Argentina, and then I think it's Papita versus Egypt or Paraguay. So they're basically in the final at that point. And then
question is if Thierry Henry can get them to the final.
Yeah, that's a big question for me. I think the players out they can do it themselves. But Thierry Henry's got to get them through the next hot take. I don't think he's that great of a tactician, that great of a enabler of his team.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those like the good players that just aren't that great. But maybe just because of how he shit the bed in MLS. I don't know.
With Montreal, and then
Montreal Red Bulls también.
Belgium también.
Yeah. No. All right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think. What do you think the U.S. makes it past Morocco? You said yes. I don't think. I think this is the end of the road for them.
Should have taken Kate Cowell, Diego Luna,
Pepe.
Better
over 23s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're gonna learn against Morocco.
So we also have the CONCACAF U20 Championship going on right now. They are in the semifinals. You have Panama, who beat Canada yesterday 2-1. I really want to shout out Panama because they've been doing really well in the under 23s, the youth squads. They did really well in Toulon. They won a couple, like a year or two ago, and they're doing well in these CONCACAF U20 championship. So they're in the semifinals, and they're gonna play the U.S., who snuck by Guatemala. Very tough Guatemala, who also lost to Mexico 2-1. So hopefully we see more Guatemala in those final stages. And then today we get Mexico, Costa Rica, and Honduras against Cuba to figure out who's the other semifinalists.
All right, pues a ver cómo les va.
We'll keep an eye on that, a ver cómo. Ahí está el Salinas native Emi Ochoa for the Mexico squad.
Mexico starting in Q2 now.
Starting, playing all the minutes, yeah. Todo enlodado con los Rinat, all tatted up and stuff, just Salinas motherfucker.
Bro, that fool legit got his neck tatted.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Fucking 18 years one day.
Yeah.
Where's the tournament?
It's in Guanajuato, so they were at Celaya Stadium. And they fucked that fucking field up, so the semifinals are at León Stadium.
Oh, they moved?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was planned, but yeah, they fucked up that other field.
Oh, man. Y ahorita es tiempo de lluvias allá en Mexico, so that shit's getting beat. All right, folks, let's bring it on to La Leagues Cup. Let's just start off with a little rumor that I'm seeing on the Twitters. Apparently, everybody is saying that Liga MX teams aren't trying at all, because they don't want to be in this tournament. They don't want this tournament to happen. They want their summers back, or they want to just have the one tournament there, the Liga, right? And then they have CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is basically Leagues Cup, but the best teams.
Yeah, from the whole region.
From the whole region.
MLS and,
but then semifinals always end up being just Liga MX and
I
MLS.
There's only Atlas has won their.
Yeah, man, out of 12 matches, one victory for Liga MX from Atlas.
From Atlas, and then Pachuca won in penalties, yeah. But your Chivas lost against los poderosísimos Héroes.
I mean, they got a tie, so like it's kind of fun. But por también lo de los Earthquakes, so I mean, I was talking to my dad, I was like, I could be happy and I could be sad. But yeah, Chivas lost with, they were able to tie it up with the last minute goal del Piojo Alvarado. And then that motherfucker, 10 minutes later when they went to penalties, missed the first one.
Yeah.
Way too easy for Daniel to stop it. Ooh, Daniel Loki, I mean, that's the only one he stopped, but I was like, look good for him on most of the penalties.
Yeah.
And then El Mendigo, the Kate Cowell, against your ex-team. So he got those jitters, like, he didn't do that well in the match.
He had one run.
He had one long run, and then he had one shot that he, like a negative ball in, he got it perfect, but then he hit it wrong. Le salió machucado.
I just seen that famous run on Twitter where he's like running down and then he gets to like the inside of the box. He Marin Lestorba.
Oh, dude.
And I saw that and I was like, he.
But Marin, that's the thing. Like, I understand Liga MX, you want to get your minutes for your other players, but some of them don't have chemistry with the team. And Marin, right there, dog, muévete. When Cowell runs that far, if he doesn't kick the ball to you, you probably should just get out of the way.
Yeah, es como respetar el esfuerzo.
Yeah, también, like, he probably does that in practice, and we've seen it with him since the Quakes.
Yeah.
Like, so that just kind of goes to show that you don't, I don't know, como que no juegan juntos. But then, yeah, Kate Cowell skied his penalty, dude. Like, para mí, nerviosismo versus the ex-team.
Definitely.
And he was like, I gotta fucking show up. I gotta kill it. don't que darles en la madre to show them that they lost what they lost. And then, wait, no mames, you lose the game for them.
Yeah, it's like I'm back in town and then my grandma's jitters. That's literally what it was, because the whole family was there. On TikTok, su girlfriend posted a lot of TikToks, y ahí estaba toda la familia de aquel cabo con tejanas, y también ella, pues. And I'm like, damn, bro, that's rough.
That's low-key kind of cringe. Because he's like really leaning into the cowboy thing in Mexico, right? Because he's a vaquero, le dicen. Okay, so now he comes back and the fam's all over him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, your Chivas lost. I was camping and I didn't have signal until Sunday. So when I checked my phone, finally got signal, and then went on football and dije, ah. That's when I texted you. I was like, bro, ¿qué le pasa a los pinches Chivas, chingada madre?
That's the tough thing, man. I mean, no les fue bien. They had a shit ton of shots, which is Liga MX overall. If you look at the matches, they're all getting in the double digits of shots, more than the other team, than the MLS team. They just can't put them away. And the one thing I wanted to talk about with Cade Cowell, the funny thing is that se iban a agarrar a madrazos, two of the players, Daniel, the keeper, with somebody, and then Cade Cowell went up and just started talking straight smack to his ex-teammates.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, there was some little bit, no salieron bien.
No, es parte de, tú sabes,
Pues
es
sí.
parte de.
But that's what I'm saying, pero de vez en cuando you got that one dude on the team that you just weren't hella boys with outside, right? So then when you see him in contra, right, las retas, and that fool presses your new homie, he went up to Armando Gonzalez to La Hormiga, who him and Cade Cowell keep making TikToks together and posting pictures of the Tejanas and shit. And he's like, hey, you're not going to press my new boy, who I like more than I ever liked your ass.
Let's go.
Because you know what, keepers, if Cade Cowell's running down the line, de vez en cuando le sales y vámonos, cabrón, right? Y se acuerdan.
Y the keeper, it's even more fun that you get to like go up there and like talk some shit, bro.
And then you can go back.
And then just go back. Y luego, yeah, I mean, it just Daniel from both sides. I was like, bro, that's what we like to see. No que se manden madrazos.
Yeah, just a little,
you know.
Sí. And I bet you that's what fueled Cowell and the rest of the Chivas to be all right. Like, because if you see Piojo scores it and they grab the ball and they're like, we got time for one more goal, right? So that fire is what is supposed to be League's Cup.
Yeah.
Right, that you want to defeat your neighbors from across the border. So that fire was good.
Shout out to the Quakes. They did end up bringing out a lot of people to the stadium. I think it was like 60. I think it was like 55. I don't remember the exact number, but I do know that it broke the number of attendance for all Leagues Cup.
Yeah, which kudos to them. No mames, those salesmen's probably worked triple overtime.
Dude, and todo el día texting, calling, emailing.
No mames, like 2 weeks to go, they still had they were only like at 30,000 or something.
Yeah, that's what I was like, bro. Like, if I'm an America fan, I'm gonna go see him. Like, I'm gonna buy my ticket like a week, 2 weeks in advance at least. But I mean, Mexican culture, you kind of do it last minute, kind of makes sense too.
And they took advantage of us. No, hombre, pero yeah, see, Quakes played today against LA Galaxy. If they win, they're secured in first place. So it's going to be good. Quakes have nothing to play for in league, so aquí hay que darle con todo. But
for real, that's a good point. It's like, this is it, bro. Just go as far as you can.
But it's tough because, I mean, Galaxy's going to come to win. They're going to come with all their starters. Different than Chivas, they were missing a couple players. But I just thought it was funny too when they went to penalties. Chivas had like the good players in to try to win the game, and then you see these fucking hella quality players, Piojo, Guti, all these dudes, and then kicking for the Quakes, Jack Scahan.
Let's go. That's the boy.
I bet you all of the fans in the stands, the Chivas fans are like, ¿Quién es ese güey?
¿Cómo se pronuncia eso?
Scahan.
I'm dead. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I don't know what to say, bro. I was just super happy that the Quakes won.
Yeah, but like you said, one victory in 12 matches for Liga MX, the Atlas game. Pachuca's match, I do want to call it out. They were down versus New York Red Bulls, and it was another example of everybody saying, dude, Liga MX isn't even trying. And then the inevitable, Solomon Rondon got a goal off of a Owen Gonzalez play.
Did you see the goalie?
Carlos Moreno,
Yeah.
that shit's funny.
The Pachuca goalie, they were losing and it was a corner, and then the New York Red Bulls player whiffed the ball, so the goalie thought it was going to go out of bounds, so he's already going and picking up a ball in the back of the net, like going around to go get it to start the goal kick. But the ball, when the New York Red Bulls player kicked the ball, it had a weird ass curve where it stayed inside.
Yeah.
And then the left back gets the ball and then shoots it, hits the bottom of the post, where there was no more goalie because the goalie was
the keeper was in the back. He was just like, what?
like what's going on?
No chance to get back by the time you realized it.
Yeah, which was, imagine if you let a goal in like that, it'd be the biggest.
People were like, this is Leagues Cup right here.
Yeah,
This is
Leagues Cup.
Golden Leagues Cup. But yeah, casi le costaba el gol al Carlos Moreno de Pachuca. But they still got a draw. Monterrey lost against Austin 2-0.
Did you see that play where an Austin player has like 4 Monterrey players around him? And it's just...
That was the 2-0. Yeah, and it was the coach's son too, which everyone's been calling him out as a Nepo baby. Josh Wolf, I think the kid's name is.
Okay.
And yeah, he had like 4 Monterrey players and he just like, skedaddles all of them and then gives the easiest through ball of his life. And the Monterrey defenders are like,
They're like jogging. Everybody was jogging in that play, and then the Austin players were like sprinting, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's
then
like, there's no heart.
The forward got a breakaway, easy goal. And that video was going viral, and everybody, even like MLS Twitter people, were like, there's no way Monterrey's trying.
Yeah.
But Sergio Canales for Monterrey got injured really early, so I mean they got an uphill battle. Dan Ortiz has to win the next game, so now a lot of these teams can no longer take that papita approach that, hey, calmados cabrones.
They all probably got a WhatsApp from Mikel Arriola.
Hey,
Cabrón, ¿qué están haciendo?
me están,
Tengan tantita vergüenza.
todos me están riendo la madre.
Y si ganan, les picho unos tacos.
Se están riendo de mí, pero en inglés, so I don't know what they're saying.
But yeah, I mean, even León, they lost 2-1. Le dieron la vuelta after winning 1-0, and yeah, I mean the 2 goals from Portland came off the corner kicks, where el portero nomás nunca supo cómo salir con las manos a cortar un centro, and it just goes back to my agenda where I'm like, bro, Mexican goalkeepers do not know how to come out and cut a corner, a center, anything up in the air.
Jesus. Well, it's true, except for Tapia. Minnesota even beat Necaxa down a player for 70 minutes. Dios mío. Necaxa had all the possession in that game, and Dane St. Clair from Necaxa, from Minnesota, their keeper, he had like 16 saves.
Jesus Christ.
They were probably all easy too, I bet you.
Unos papitas.
I bet you.
Yeah, Cruz Azul and Charlotte are 0-0 right now. Santos is losing to DC United 1-0.
Que la fregada.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Liga MX.
Yo, at what point, like, low-key, Santos has been terrible with just Mexican players, like youth Mexican players.
Young youth Mexican players.
And they're all like,
At what point, okay?
At what point do you say, Nachito, I know you're a goat de Mexico, pero, güey, hay que ganar.
Bro, they're all like 24 and younger.
Yeah, that dude, I mean, he got sign off from Irarragorri to, like, just throw the damn season, bro. Just get me this team to be badass, like Pachuca, in the future.
I really hope that's like the agreement they have, because Santos.
If not, they're gonna fire him in like 3 weeks.
I keep going back to that Tigres game. Santos looked really well against that Tigres game. One-on-ones, they had him locked down. It's just Tigres, right?
It doesn't matter, you have to win.
But now you have DC United. This DC United ain't doing so hot in MLS. You should at least be tying this game.
Nope. And Santos needs to be winning in Leagues Cup and show up.
Yeah, DC United is 13th.
Jeez.
New England beat I think it was Puebla. New England is last in the East.
But it's Puebla. Puebla's last place from Mexico. Puebla's last place from Mexico.
No,
So that kind of
pinche
makes
Puebla,
sense.
I'm trying to help you out with your last place también.
Oh, for real. All right, folks, let's bring it on home with a little bit of some random top news, Cesar. Your America de tu corazón is trying to break all of our corazones by bringing back Cesar Montes from Almeria.
For real, that's rough.
They offered almost $10 million for him, cash. About $7 million with about $2 million in add-ons, and they turned that down.
It's, as an America fan, I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm happy we're trying to get that type of player because he's good, seleccionado, center back. I don't think we need a center back, but I mean, okay, cool. But at the same time, it's like, no puede need. It's just in a weird situation where I want him to stay and play European ball, but I also want him in my team.
Yeah.
So I think the only solution is just finding young players who can fill that position and then maybe go to Europe after that. Like our center back, fuck, I forgot his name. That young Juarez.
Yeah, Ramon Juarez.
Ramon Juarez.
What's wrong with him?
What's wrong with him? He's 24, I think, 25. Like,
No, he's still
Déjalo.
23, 24, yeah.
déjalo jugar, chingada madre. Let him play.
You're still winning every game. What does it matter?
We're not doing too hot in Liga MX. We get to be.
It's not his fault.
It's not his fault. You're right. Yeah, because we're not scoring. But yeah, I think that money should be better spent on a left winger to fill up that Quiñones void that he left, or an attacker, a second attacker, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Apparently,
We don't need a
Almeria
defender.
turned back around and said that they needed closer to 10 million, which honestly, $1 million for freaking Azcárraga. He's
That's
probably
it.
thinking about it a little bit. He's like, I can. Should I?
Yeah.
And apparently Cesar Montes has asked the club, like, please don't, to Mexico because he doesn't want to go back to Mexico.
Yeah. I mean, he still has to agree to it, no? Or once
Yeah,
it's sold.
it's player terms afterwards, but apparently he doesn't want to go back to Mexico. He's been one of the players that's been pushing, saying, like, he needs to be out there to get better. And kudos to him, he's staying in a second division team.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe try to get a loan to a first division.
Yeah, or try to go somewhere else, like go to a French team or, I don't know, somewhere else. Play Champions, Europa or Conference.
Pero habla español, es la cosa.
Ay,
Yeah,
Duolingo, cabrón, o qué? Pon Google Translate, like.
Wait, si
Oh,
viste a Chicharito, hasta struggling cuando fue a Manchester, no manches.
There's workarounds.
Huescas has got a freaking interpreter in the locker room, you see?
Sí,
When he got mad at the match, he said it, and then some other fool over there,
Yeah.
probably the only like Argentino on the team or something, said it in English.
Yeah, I mean, que language shouldn't be a barrier to like go play in a different.
It shouldn't be, but I feel like more would go if they just taught them fucking English at an earlier age. If you know
Nice.
English out there, you'll survive.
Yeah.
Plus the Spanish, you'll meet somebody that knows English or Spanish.
Or I'll take, go to freaking the championship in England. Vete ya, también está dura la cosa.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, y sube con el equipo. No, pues sí está cabrón. What else? You had no here, the little bit of drama going on between Pep Guardiola and Alvarez.
Yeah, so Alvarez was on an interview saying that right now he's focused on the Olympics with Argentina because he's with them. But after, he's going to think about if he wants to stay in Manchester City or not.
Damn.
He said that to the press. And then Pep is doing the USA tour with Manchester City. They just played Barcelona, I think it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asked the same thing, and Pep's response was like, I know he wants to play important minutes, but I also have a lot of other players who want to play important minutes. He can think about it with his representative, and then he'll come talk to us. Very nonchalant, saying, yo, like,
political.
hey, tú si quieres estar aquí, bueno, y si no, pues
Sí,
también.
no, pues ahí está la puerta.
Yeah, and then I think it was today, I have it here, where's the quote? Julian Alvarez said, I didn't say anything bad, I just said I need to think, as I always do after every season to make balance. I always say I'm comfortable at Manchester City, a great club. A little backtracking there,
The
but
fool's agent. Hey, That's my money too, so
Yeah.
di algo bonito.
Don't poke the bear, okay, cabrón?
Pórtate bonito.
Pero, I mean, I think Alvarez would be the starting at any other club in the world. It's just that he has Holland in front of him at Manchester City, so.
Yeah, but I mean, they are golden handcuffs, my guy.
Yeah.
Defiste de River, el mejor equipo del mundo.
Ganaste todo lo que hiciste ahí.
Yeah.
You won the World Cup with Argentina, you won Champions.
It's a great challenge. Get those minutes. A lot of people are saying the moment that Haaland slips up and stops being Haaland automatic scorer, you're up. You're going to help the team do better.
Yeah, and his play style is completely different as well, which helps Pep a lot. So.
¿Qué tantos minutos quiere, güey? Fue a Copa América, now Olympics. He's one of the few
And
players
last
that are doing
season,
that.
he played a lot. Last season, he played a lot of minutes. Haaland was injured for like
Yeah.
a third of the
Fantasy.
season.
Yeah.
So it's like, cabrón, cálmate, estás bien ahí.
También.
Pero eres argentino, ¿no?
Y si quiere más.
Quiero más de ti.
A ver. All right, folks. So we hope that you liked that episode. Jump into our social medias and on Discord and let us know your guys' thoughts. What you guys want us to cover this footy summer. What you guys want more content of, because like we said, we're going to be doing some more lives. So you guys let us know, and we'll talk to you guys soon. And hopefully the Quakes get this dub tonight.
Let's go.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.